everyone, welcome back to Unmasked at Midlife. I'm Sara, and if you're new here, this channel is all about navigating, that's my dog, navigating life as a late diagnosed autistic mother. Today, we're diving into something that I know so many of you struggle with, I do as well, and that is surviving sensory overload when you have young kids. Because let's be real, kids are loud and chaotic and wonderfully overwhelming, but when you are autistic, that can feel like sensory warfare happening in your very own home. If you have ever felt like you are drowning in the mess, the constant touching, the never-ending demands, this video is for you. Before we jump in, I want you to know that you are not broken, you are not a bad mother, and you are definitely not alone in feeling like the sensory chaos of motherhood is too much sometimes. I remember one particular Wednesday, it was an Abuela day, and my youngest was having a meltdown. My oldest was practicing the harmonica. I could hear the dishwasher running, the dog was barking, and it was all too much. I had to lock myself in the bathroom, and I tried to breathe. But really what I do is cry because that works better for me. But I was in the bathroom on the floor, and I just felt like such a bad mom. Like I should be out there with my kids. But here's what I wish someone would have told me back then. Understanding your sensory needs isn't selfish, it's essential, because when you are regulated, you can better support your kids. First, let's talk about what sensory overload actually looks like when you are parenting. So it's not just, I don't like loud noises. It's feeling physically exhausted after a trip to the grocery store with your kids. It's getting overwhelmed by the texture of Play-Doh underneath your fingernails. It's feeling touched out after a day full of cuddles, diaper changes, and little hands grabbing at you. The sound of certain toys just makes you want to hide. The fluorescent lights in the pediatrician's office makes you feel agitated. The chaos of birthday parties feeling like sensory torture. For many of us who were diagnosed later in life, we spent years thinking that we were just high-strung or too sensitive, but now we understand that our nervous systems process information entirely differently. Here is the thing about kids. They are naturally sensory-seeking little beings. They're loud, they're messy, they want to touch everything, they want to put it in their mouth, and they have no volume control. This isn't their fault, it's developmentally appropriate, but when you are autistic, this creates a perfect storm. Your child's natural behavior directly conflicts with your sensory needs. And society tells us that good mothers should be endlessly patient and always available and never need breaks. And the guilt is real. I used to feel terrible when I would cringe at my child's happy squealing, or when I would get overwhelmed during what should have been, precious cuddle time. But I've learned that acknowledging these challenges isn't about loving your kids less. It's about loving yourself enough to find solutions. If you have watched my previous videos, you are aware that I am newly diagnosed, which means I am no expert in any of this, but I have found a few things that help. Let's talk about practical strategies that actually work. One that has helped me a lot is to designate a safe sensory space. For me, it's my bathroom. It can be a room in your house or even just a corner. Designate it as your safe sensory retreat. In there, keep noise-canceling headphones, sunglasses, fidget tools, essential oils, whatever helps you regulate. My second tip is proactive environmental management. Swap out the really triggering, annoying toys for quieter alternatives. Do this gradually. Use soft lighting instead of those harsh overhead lights that no one really likes anyway. Create visual schedules to reduce the chaos of constant decision making. My third tip is the power of routine. Predictable schedules help your nervous system prepare for what's coming. Examples would be to build in non-negotiable quiet time. Even 15 minutes can reset your system. Morning routines that include sensory regulation for you, not just your kids. My fourth tip is communication strategies. Teach your kids about quiet voices and gentle touches. Use visual cues like hand signals when verbal communication feels overwhelming. It's okay to say, "Mommy needs a quiet minute." My fifth tip would be strategic accommodations. Online grocery shopping, if possible, leaving events when you feel like you've hit your limit, and having a support person who understands your sensory needs. Even in using these strategies, meltdowns happen. Let's be honest, sometimes, despite our best efforts, we hit a wall. When sensory overload leads to meltdown, here's what helps. Have a safety plan for your kids. Maybe they watch a movie or they go play in their room. Remove yourself from the triggering environment if possible. Use your regulation tools. So we're talking deep breathing, pressure stimming, darkness, and remember that meltdowns are neurological. They are not moral failings. And please, if you're in crisis, reach out for help. Whether that's a partner, a family member, or a friend, having support isn't a luxury, it is a necessity. Let's talk about building your support system. One of the most important things you can do is build a support network that truly understands autism. This might include connecting with other autistic parents online or in person, finding childcare providers who understand sensory needs, educating your partner or your family about what sensory overload actually means and how to identify it when it's happening. Work with therapists who are autism informed. And remember, you don't have to justify your needs or explain yourself to everyone. Just having a few people who truly get it and are in your corner can really make a difference. Here is what I want you to remember. Taking care of your sensory needs isn't selfish. It's how you become the mother you want to be. Your kids need you regulated more than they need you perfect. You are not failing because you need accommodations. You are not broken because parenting feels harder than it does for others. You are autistic, and that comes with both challenges and beautiful gifts. Your sensory sensitivities might make some parts of motherhood harder, but they also make you incredibly attuned to your children's needs, deeply empathetic, and wonderfully creative in solving problems. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content on late diagnosed autism and motherhood. In the comments, I would love to hear, what is your biggest sensory challenge as a parent? And what's one strategy that has actually worked for you and helped you? Remember, we are all figuring this out together. But if we do it differently, there's no shame in that. Whatever works, works. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves, and thank you so much for watching.